afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. This is Om Kumar, your Sergeant at Arms for today. A very happy New Year 2022 to you all. Let the new year be filled with lots of learning and fun. Welcome to the Medley Meeting number 661. Toastmasters International is a near century-old organization helping its members grow in the area of public speaking and leadership abilities. As per the mission of Toastmasters, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. There are some ground rules we request all the audience to follow to keep the meeting productive. Keep your mic on mute unless you are delivering a session or asked a question. Keep your phone in silent mode during the meeting when you speak so that it does not create any disturbance. Please prefix your name with TM underscore if you are a Toastmaster and as guest underscore if you are a guest. As much as possible, keep your video on so that the speaker gets a near live experience and gets motivated by your responses, if bandwidth permits. Please stay in a professional posture when you are on video. Kindly stay throughout the meeting and enjoy the Toastmasters experience. Do not exit abruptly from the meeting. Team has taken pains over the past week to conduct this meeting. It will be an insult to exit the meeting abruptly and is not a dignified manners. In case of urgent needs, mention about your exit politely and do so. Please keep the chat window always open in a corner and use it for any quick communication when the meeting is in progress. Use it for your communications too. With this, I would like to introduce our presiding officer, Toastmaster Ranga Padmavijayam. Toastmaster Ranga is a passionate reader. His father had always advised him not to sit idle and better to sit with a book. His favorite authors are P.G. Wodehouse, Sidney Shelton, and Robert Ludlum. President Toastmaster Ranga, over to you, sir.
Thank you for the grand introduction, Sergeant at Arms TM Mohan Kumar. I would like to welcome our DTM Thomas T. Abraham and DTM Sampath Saurirajan, along with all our Toastmaster friends and a couple of guests. It's been a pleasure being with you all. And for now, what I will do is I'll just talk to the guests. Dr. Prasanna, if you could just reintroduce yourself for the members who have just joined. Could you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Prasanna Vani. I'm a doctor. I work as an anesthesiologist at Cancer Institute, Chennai. I've been in Chennai for 7 years now. And throughout my professional career, I've realized the importance of communication, and I intend to develop it further so that I can achieve professional growth and succeed in all my endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. How did you get to know about Toastmasters and Medley specifically?
I had attended an IIT program on data science. In the English course there, they mentioned about this to improve our communication skills.
That's nice. Welcome to Medley Toastmasters. We look forward to seeing you more. I'll speak to you at the end of the meeting as well.
Yes, thank you.
And Toastmaster Abhilash, okay, he's a Toastmaster. Okay, with that, I would just like to briefly talk about the term that went by. Good afternoon, friends. The term that went by once again reflected Medley's pride and promise. The theme of the 658th milestone meeting on 6th of November 2021. The young Turks of Medley planned and executed the meeting with aplomb. We set right a lacuna in our banking account where we lost our net banking access and had to fall back on checks that had to be signed by ex-president and ex-treasurer from way back in January to June 2018 term. I seriously appreciate the inputs and support from many past presidents. Still, it took us 4 months to restore the net banking access. At this juncture, I would like to thank DTM Guru Prasad and Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, who took care of all the payments to Toastmasters International during the September membership drive. I'm confident that going forward, future ExComs will maintain the system. We are midway through the 2021-2022 Medley term, and we have already notched up most of the points for the President's Distinguished Award. In the more challenging Golden Gavel Awards, in the first term, we lost around 15 points. We are on pace, though, to achieve the target of 170 points out of the total 200 for the entire year 2021-2022. Our efforts at restoring physical meetings got stymied after 2 hybrid meetings. However, we provided our members with a wide variety during the meetings. There was a meeting with evaluations by 4 division directors, themed meetings, 2 joint meetings, a debate, 3 speakathons, training on evaluation and humorous speeches, 2 education sessions, and presentations from successful club series by DTM Saro Velrajan, past finance manager, District 120, and leadership series by Region 13 advisor, DTM Brilliant. Our club had division runner-ups in both the contests. Our VP DTM Sampath identified a buddy club from Area 2, Verizon at RMZ. The mentor mapping and other activities are proceeding as planned. We have fulfilled many of the requirements to earn the marks for Golden Gavel points for the year. I would like to close by taking this opportunity to thank past presidents, DTM Sunil Jose, DTM Kalyan, Toastmaster Ram Prasad, DTM Sugandhi, DTM Thomas T. Abraham, and Toastmaster Raghu, and all the ExCom members for extending their unstinted cooperation during the term. For his 100% commitment to the task, allow me to single out extended team member TM Mohan Sundaram, who has been with us and giving us the star of the month for almost a year and a half now. I encourage all members to take on ExCom roles or volunteer in various subcommittees. It has been a great learning experience in interpersonal relations, leadership skills, teamwork, and event management. This learning will help in molding me in my personal and professional growth. To quote Jalaluddin Rumi, it's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. Wishing the incoming ExCom a brilliant term, delighting the members. A very happy new year to you all. And now I would like to pass over the baton to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Shiva. Shiva is a systems engineer by profession and has a decade of experience in IT. He's an aspiring life coach as well. His hobbies are listening to audiobooks and traveling to new places. Over to you, Shiva.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, for the warm introduction. Good afternoon, Medleyans. I don't hear back. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you. And a very happy new year to all. Okay. Now it's being the new year. So when we hear the word new year, what comes to your mind? Obviously, the goal setting, the outcomes, right? Okay. Okay, so let us keep that up. Okay, so let me take you through a fun-filled ride into a deep forest. Imagine you are traveling into a deep forest, and suddenly you are greeted by the roar of a ferocious big cat. Yes, that's none other than the king of the jungle, the lion. Now you are barehanded and you had to survive this situation. What would you do? I know that none of us could able to overpower the animal with bare hands. Okay, let us take a time loop as in the movie Manadu. And now we'll come with a better prepared way. And I will give you two tools. One, this is Do you see that? This is a belt, or you can say it as a whip. And the another one you have, do you see that? I don't know whether you could see that properly. It's a stool, 4-legged stool, right? Do you see that now? Okay. So you are provided with these 2 tools to handle this beast. How many of you will you be able to handle this situation? Okay, and even if you're able to handle this, which one would come handy, whether the whip or the stool? Any guesswork? Any guesswork?
The stool.
The stool.
Yeah,
you're right.
To avoid the first bite.
Yes.
Only the first bite.
Thank you, DTM, for that. Yeah. As DTM said very correctly, it's the stool that would help us. You might be wondering why a chair or a stool would intimidate an animal as powerful as a lion. It's not that the lion is afraid of the chair or the stool. It's that the lion is confused by the 4 legs of the stool when pointed towards it. Right? Casually put, the chair distracts the animal from wanting the person to face off, fears of the person in front of it. This was the very technique used by the early lion tamers. That's how the distraction is. That's how powerful the distraction is. It has the power to entice even the king of the jungle, the lion, and turn into a mere puppet in the cages of the circus. Okay, let's move on. Let us have a look about, now we know distraction is a very powerful tool that keeps us distracting from our outcome. And now in the modern age, distraction is omnipresent everywhere. But they always been a part of human life. Let's take a look about another victim of distraction. How many of you know about Tantalus, the son of Greek god Zeus? I hope Doctor would know it, and our DTM. Okay. He was exiled to the underworld by his father Zeus. There, Tantalus found himself standing in a pool of water beside a tree. In the tree, there dangled a ripe fruit just above his head. Whenever Tantalus tried to pick the fruit, the branch would move away. And whenever he bent to drink the cool water, it would recede down. So the curse is he should quench with thirst for eternity. His story is why we call something desirable but just out of our reach as tantalizing. So he is the copyright holder of this word, tantalizing. Okay, what does the story of Tantalus really tell about us? It's the Greeks believe that it is a moral, that the moral of the story is that we should not have incessant desires. But there is another angle to this story. See, Tantalus is already in Tartarus. You know what is Tartarus? That is the lowest part of the underworld, also called as hell. So for a dead person to stay hunger, it is not sensible for a dead person to stay hunger. Anywhere he is eternal, he is going to leave the eternal. So what if Tantalus had become conscious about his distraction of the fruit which is hanging on him and the water which keeps on receding, and stop reaching for that? Seems like a simple fix, but obviously this guy Tantalus is ignorant about the simple mitigation. It's here that we start to understand his real doom. He could never come to see that he didn't need the things that he was reaching for in the first place. His curse was not spending all eternity for reaching for unreachable things, but rather being ignorant to the greater folly of his actions. Chandler's curse is also our curse. We feel compelled to reach for things we supposedly need, really don't. We don't need to check the dings, the pings, and the rings that is emerging from our ceaseless digital demons, right? No matter how much we feel we must reach to that. But the good news is, we are not doomed the way Tantalus was. We have the power to step back from our desires, recognize them for what they are, and do something about them. And there comes the theme of this meeting: indistractable. It is the ability of the person to stay undistracted, irrespective of the external stimuli where we get from the mobile devices or the emails or everywhere, and stay focused on our one single pursuit. Probably this is a new year. We have so much of new year resolutions, and how we can monomaniacally focused on those pursuits. That's what the theme is all about. And timer, do I have more time? Sorry to interrupt. Okay.
Sorry, you already exceeded the time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, let me start. A typical Toastmaster meeting has 3 sections. For the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first is the prepared speech, where the members will be delivering speeches based on the projects and parts that they have chosen. The second part of the session is the table topics round, where the members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. This round is also known as the impromptu speech section. Guests are welcome to participate in this round. The third and final part is the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as the other aspect of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his team. To commence with the proceedings, let me invite my companion today, who spearheads the evaluation team. He hails from the Manchester of the South India, the capital of the Kongu Nadu, but for the past decade and a half, he has been the citizen of Adayar, Chennai. When asked about his strategy to avoid distraction, he said he always envisions the end result, which makes him immune to the deception of the digital demons. Says Mr. Saravanan. Please join me in welcoming the General Evaluator to introduce his responsibilities and his team. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Happy New Year to all, everyone, members as well as guests. In this new year, may all your wishes come true. Good afternoon, everybody. As a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the entire proceedings of the meeting, to observe, to orchestrate, and tell about the findings that are happening in the entire proceedings of today's meeting as such. As you all know, communication is like a coin. It has 2 sides. What are the 2 sides of communication? Anybody? Verbal, non-verbal. So these are the 2 sides of a communication: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. And in my role today, I have few people who are joining with me, and they will be supporting me with all the evaluations and everything of the overall proceedings. And we notice both the verbal as well as non-verbal communication and present the report to you at the end of the meeting. And for the benefit of the guests as well as some of the new members, this Toastmasters meeting, that is Medley Toastmasters meeting, comprises of members from various professions. There are people from college goers, executives, and evaluation everybody knows, right? This is an important aspect which helps in improving 3 areas. The first one is decision making. Second, planning and organizing. Third one, motivate and improve the members and morale of the members and guests. The main purpose of evaluation, as you know, is to build the speaker's confidence and abilities so that they can come back and take active roles and take up the stage again during the next meeting as such. And for that, I have two teams to help me with that. The first team is called as TAG team, TAG, timer or counter as well as grammarian. This is a team that focuses on the entire meeting duration. See, this is a very tough job. We have to be very keenly noticing all the things that are happening in the meetings proceedings. And this team, TAG team, does that very punctually and do that evaluation and provide the report at the end of the meeting session. And what they do here is they listen to various role players, speeches, and provide a candid report. So first of all, the TAG team, the timer. Timer role. This timer role is played by a person who does yoga, meditation, and few exercises on daily basis to ensure that he does not get distracted in reaching his goals. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Venkat Palle. Can you please brief your role?
Hi, good afternoon to your Toastmasters and fellow guests. As a timer, I will time the tabletop speakers, common speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. For example, tabletop speaker time limit should be no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. For speeches, at 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. And as well as for evaluations, at 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. And at the end of the session, when G asked me to submit the report, I will provide the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat Palle. The next one is R counter. The R counter role is played by a person who is an active member in ICANN and Internet Society of India. He is working as a domain expert in a leading IPR firm in Chennai. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Venkatesan. Can you please brief your role?
Good afternoon, Medley Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Wish you all a happy new year, happy and prosperous new year. As an accountant, today my role is, the purpose of the accountant is make a note of overused words or fillers and such as and, well, but, so, and, you know. Sounds may be or l. At the end of the meeting, when GE calls upon, I'm going to submit my indestructible report to the GE. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesan. The next role is the grammarian role. The grammarian role is played by a passionate Toastmaster who is gifted with a soothing voice and eye for detail. And he is a retired scientist and a tireless Toastmaster. According to him, intense attention is essential for fulfilling anything in life. And much hard work goes to waste because of succumbing to distractions. Please put your hands to welcome DTM Sampath Saurirajan. Can you please explain your role?
Am I audible? Am I audible? Yes. Good afternoon, General Evaluator, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and visiting dignitaries and guests. Usually I have a disclaimer when I start as a grammarian. Many times I do that. The first grammarian of the world, the earliest grammarian, was Panini. He wrote a book called Ashtadhyayi, the book of 8 chapters on Sanskrit grammar. He said, he made a big statement, Lakshyat Lakshanam. That means practice leads to grammar. So what I tell all my Toastmaster friends and guests is, don't be afraid of speaking. You may have some grammatical issues. There are people to help you, like grammarian, your mentor, your speech evaluator. Taking the cue, you keep on improving your grammar as time goes on. So the first thing is express yourself. Second thing is try to improve your expression. Today, I shall try to monitor the quality of the language spoken without any distraction. Indistractably, I shall try to do that. Today's word of the day is another duty for the grammarian. The word of the day today is a complementary word to the theme of the day. Theme says indistractable. The word is either is an adjective, steadfast, S-T-E-A-D-F-A-S-T, steadfast. Steadfast means there are many slightly varying shades of meaning, not changing in your attitude or aim, firmly fixed, immovable, not subject to change, firm in belief, determination, and adherence, faithful and loyal. There are many synonyms. I'm not going to list them. But to make us understand the usage better, I am going to request DTM Partha to use the word steadfast in a sentence. DTM Partha, please unmute yourself.
Sure, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. The government was steadfast in its restrictions to minimize the number of events for the new year.
Thank you. Actually, the government being steadfast made many people steady during the New Year celebrations. Well, can I ask one more usage example by Dr. T.K. Sundaram?
Yeah.
Can you use the word steadfast in a sentence for our benefit, sir?
Steadfast. I normally get up in the morning and steadfast to prepare myself for going to the office. Maybe that is actually that is the same way in the job also. I do a steadfast job all the time. That's the thing. Is it okay?
Thank you very much. Friends, I shall note the number of times this word is used and also the good usages and improvable usages. I will not concentrate too much on improvable usages because the time will be a problem. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Sambat Sauraj. I also want to be a steadfast, tireless Toastmaster.
Very nice.
Actually, I mean, I can be a tireless Toastmaster, but it should not be around the hips also. At the same time, I should not be tired also. So both the ways I would like to be tireless Toastmaster. Okay. With this, I have introduced the entire tag team. That is the timer or counter as well as grammarian team and their roles and responsibilities as well. And over to the Toastmaster of the day. And once he completes, like I will be taking up the next set of evaluations and introduce the next set of evaluators also. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, gentle evaluator. Now we come to the main part of the Toastmaster meeting, namely the prepared speech session. Today, we have two prepared speeches. The first speaker is a caste accountant by profession. He has more than a decade and half years of experience in finance and was working in HSBC Bank about for the past 10 years. Presently, he is working in one of the US MNC in a managerial position. When quizzed about the theme, he points the mobile phone as a major distraction. And to avoid that distraction, he strayed that he would always keep the phone away from work. And he is also shared as a tip to install an application called Your R that helps us to track our phone usage. Thank you for that valuable tip, Mr. Toastmaster Shankar. And with that, I request his evaluator, DTM Parthasarathi, to read the project and speech purpose statements. Over to you, Mr. DTM Parthasarathi.
Toastmaster of the day. The speaker is doing a project called Manage Change from Level 4 in Pathways. The purpose statement for this project is for the member to practice developing a change management plan. And the purpose of this particular speech is for the member to share some aspect of a change management plan. The time will be 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you, DTM Parthasarathi. With that, let me hand over the stage to our first speaker of the year 2022, Toastmasters Shankar, and the title is 0 to 1. Toastmasters Shankar, the title is 0 to 1. Over to you, Mr. Shankar.
Thank you, TMOD. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. Till 1953, no one was able to climb Mount Everest. Everyone thought it had extreme snow, rain, and even they termed it as a death zone. Guess what? When one person reached the topmost, the Everest for the first time, everyone on the earth was amazed, astonished. Wait, the story did not end here. In the next few years, the number of people who climbed the Mount Everest has increased to 100, 1,000 million, and so on. Edmund Hillary was the first person to reach the Mount Everest. Did not change anything, but he changed the people perception. Fellow Toastmaster and honorable guest, good afternoon. Some of you know that I'm running on an NGO called Weekend along with my mentor, Venkatachalam. Our objective is to support underprivileged children with education, food, and shelters. Some years ago, there was an appeal from one of the college professor in Erode district. He had requested me to put solar lamp in one of the tribal villages in Satyamangalam reserve forest area named Durgam village, which does not have any basic facility, even electricity. They live in a dark place. Most of the people in the village, they did not see the light throughout the lifetime, and they use kerosene lamp as a light. There were around 250 people and 50 children living in the village. He also added that the worst part is that there were no roads to go to the village. The people need to go by walk through a tough hill terrain around 3 to 4 hours. The other challenging part was that the village believed that many superstitious things. Name a few. They are afraid of photograph, as they believe that they will steal their soul. Similarly, they are not interested to bring the electricity to the village, as they strongly believe that the electricity would kill them. They had this type of foulest belief. Those were the challenging tasks for our team, and we never experienced this type of situations ever before. So initially, Venkatachalam and I went to a Durgam village along with my professor and met Panchayat leader of Durgam village. He was very rigid and aggressive. He told us in a firm tone that Durgam village does not need any electricity or solar light. After some time, slowly I pitched in. Since I knew a decent knowledge about the electricity and solar light, I explained the benefit of solar light and told them it will not harm them and made a small experiment. However, he was not convinced. Venkatachalam and I made a firm attempt that we should not leave the place without convincing the people of Durgam village and Panchayat leader. So 3 of us had stayed in the school premises on that night without any basic facility. That time, I realized that how we are sophisticated with the modern infrastructure. I could not sleep at that night. I felt that my efforts are going to fail. And to be honest, I don't know what to do next. So people say that if we exercise our brain for a noble cause, it will do wonders. Yes, the same thing had happened to me also. Something sparked on my mind. I immediately rushed corner of the school building and take the emergency light from my bag and switch it on. Soon after, a few tribal people were gazing at us. I observed that they were afraid of light. So in front of them, I touched the light, kissed the light, and switched it on, off, and whatever do, I did that at the time. So they were seeing me excitedly. But at one point of time, an old woman hesitantly came near me and touched the light with anxiety. I gave the light to her, but she refused to take it. After a long-lasting conversation, she had agreed to touch and take the light. Since the old woman was staying near the school premises, I saw that many of the village people gathered and thrilled to see the light. I see that there were a lot of excitement and commotion in their place. I thought it was a golden opportunity for me and had a conversation very casually. I started explaining the benefit of installing the light in their home, especially on the street. After some pause, I told them, if you have the light at the street, the number of insect bite cases will be drastically reduced. When I quoted this example, there was a pin drop silence from them. Later, I realized that they had recently lost the person because of scorpion bit. So in this example, I made a very positive impact on Durgam people. So I went to sleep at the night. The next day morning, the Panchayat leader came and given a green signal to install a solar lamp on the street. So at the time, I felt that I had defeated the entire world. Within a month, our team had collected the contributions from donor. That was the first time our weekend team had reached the magical number of 1 lakh rupees as the collection. A team of 13 members headed to Durgam village along with the technical person and installed 5 solar lamps. I would like to share with you some of the snaps in Durgam village. I'm sure that you would mesmerize that place. Just a minute. I hope everyone able to see my screen. Okay. This is the place where we went together. And this is the village. And this is the place where I can see the Durgam village. So these are the tribal people where they took the solar lamp for 3 to 4 hours by hand. And this is the very hill, tough terrain. And these are all the home. There are living close to 250 peoples and plus 50 children over there. So these are the place, and this is the what is that? The village panchayat leader, and this is the old woman which I was referring here. This is for installing the solar lamp, and this is the team where we have executed the project. Like how Edmund Hillary had changed the perception of the people in the same way, I also felt that I had transformed the people mindset in Durgam village. Now in Durgam village, they have the full of solar light in their home as well as the street. Added to that, I also contributed from our team, the weekend team. We are where we can able to collect the magical number of 1 lakh rupees in just less than a month. I would like to conclude my speech with one favorite my quote from Vivekananda. Arise, awake, and stop, not till the goal is reached. Over to T.M. Modi. T.M. Modi, you are on mute.
Sorry for that. Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster Shankar, for that wonderful speech. You are steadfast on your commitments to serve the society. And the next speaker would be Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram. He is a software engineer by profession and currently working on Creatrix Campus Private Limited. To start the speech, I call upon the evaluator of Mohan Sundaram, Mr. T.M. Abhilash, to read out the project speech and purpose statement. Over to you, T.M. Abhilash.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. A very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My target speaker, Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram, is presenting his Level 4 Project 1 from the path Leadership Development. The The project is to create a podcast. The purpose of this project is for the member to be introduced to the skills needed to organize and present a podcast. The purpose of Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram's speech today is for him to introduce his or her podcast and to as well present a segment of the podcast to our club. Timer, please note that there will be a 2 to 3 minute introduction followed by a 5 to 10 minute podcast segment. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, TM Abhilash. Now, please join hands in welcoming the second speaker of the day, TM Mohan Sundaram.
Teamwork, can I interrupt? May I know the timings of this speaker because I lost the voice.
So there will be a 2 to 3 minute introduction followed by a 5 to 10 minute podcast presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
With that, let me hand over the stage to Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram. Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram for the speech, Living in Harmony with Nature. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible?
Yes. You are audible.
Sorry. Living close to the nature has many rewards, either short term or long terms. My podcast will show you one of them. A very good afternoon to fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. We eat the rice or wheat as a staple food. We use the vegetables and sauce to make our food more nutritious and tasty. Do you know how they are? Do you know where will come from? Any idea? I will ask this question because most of the people don't know. Most of the people don't know how the food is produced. They are away from most important in the life. We sit in the room and do the job and get paid and live in a happy life. Do you think is it really making you happy? We are all living in the world of tensions, disease, etc. The data shows that 50% of the people lives in the big towns, urban areas, and cities. Why not we go to the rural areas and stay in the areas and get some pure airs and leisure-left life. I'm somewhat happy. I have a good exposure in the food productions. Come with me. I will take you to the green paddy fields. My podcast will describe how we make a food in the world. As a podcast plays, and please imagine and visualize yourself in the field.
I am unable to actually hear the podcast. Is it the same for everyone? Sorry.
Me too.
Yeah, I think there's an option to enable
can't hear anything.
audio. You might have to do that.
So Mohan, while sharing the screen, you need to also share the audio.
Yes.
Yeah, we cannot hear Mohan. I think there's an option to enable audio in Zoom.
I actually enabled this audio. Can someone play these audios? So I will share the file. Excuse me.
Could you send it in the chat window, please?
Yeah, please. Yes.
Okay, Mohan, when you play it, do you see a option saying play computer sound?
No.
Go to mute. Go to the mic. No, go to the mic and see there.
No.
So just click on the up arrow.
Sorry to interrupt. So Mohan, while you share the screen, you should see a checkbox called share sound. Do you see that? While you click on the share button in the Zoom, and you'll see a small pop-up coming around, right? In that,
yes.
there is an option called share sound. Yeah, that's the one you need to do.
Crop harvesting involves various sections. Each section contributes to the growth of. Now here, could you hear that?
Yeah, we are able to hear that.
Seed. They are seed quality, land preparation, crop establishment, water management, nutrition management, crop health, harvesting, and DPC. Let us see each one by one. Seed quality. Good quality seed can increase the yield by 5 to 20%. Using a good seeds lead to the higher crop, reduce the replanting and more rigorous growth in early stage of the crop growth. Crop growth in early stage reduce the weed problems and increase the crop resistance to inspect the pest and diseases. Choosing a suitable seed that suits the environment that will lead to the good growth. Second one is the land preparation. Before rice can be planted onto the land, it must be in the best physical condition for the crop growth, and the soil surface should be leveled. Land preparation involves digging up, mixing, and leveling the soil. Farmer allows the seed to be planted at the right depth and also with the help of weed controls. Farmer can be dig the land themselves by using animals like buffalo or tractors and other machinery tools. Effective land leveling allows the seeding to become established more easily and increase both crop quality and yield. Third one is crop establishment. There are two ways of establishing a rice plant. One is transplanting and other one is direct seeding. Transplanting is the most popular and ancient method that is used across Asia. Pre-germinated seedlings are transferred from seed bed to wet field. It requires less seed and is most effective method to control the weed, but it requires more labor and increase the cost to the farmers. The second method is called direct seeding. Direct seeding involves machines and humans onto the surface. Seeds are filled into the vessels. There are the 5 to 6 vessels fixed into the machines. The gap between the vessel is about half inches. When the human roll the machines straight across the land, the seeds are dropped off the vessels in an organized way. It costs a human less money, but weed control is out of farmer's hand. The fourth part is water management. Cultivated rice is extremely sensitive to the water shortage. To ensure the sufficient water, most of the farmers aim to maintain the buoyant condition in their field. Fifth one is nutrition management. At each growth stage, the rice plant has a specific nutrition needs. This makes nutrition management a critical aspect of rice farming. Some of the nutrients are urea, NPK, etc. Sixth part is crop health. Rice plant has a wide array of enemies in the field. These include rodents, harmful insects, viruses, diseases, and weeds. Farmers manage the weed through the water management and land preparations by hand weedings. Understanding the interaction among the pest, natural enemies, host, plant, other organisms, and environment allows a farmer to determine if any pest management may be necessary. Seventh one is harvesting. Harvesting is a process of collecting the mature rice from the field. Depending on the rice variant, rice crops usually reach the maturity at 90 days or 120 days. Harvesting activity involves cutting, stacking, handling, and cleaning. Good harvesting methods help maximize the grain yield and minimize the grain damages. Harvesting can be done either manually or mechanically. Manual harvesting is common across Asia. It involves cutting the rice plant with the help of knives. Manual harvesting is an effective method, however, it requires immense labor and 42 to 60 hours per hectare. Mechanical harvesting involves using machines like reapers or combine harvesters. Following the cutting, rice must be thrashed to the separate grain from the plant and then cleaned. The last one is DPC. DPC stands for Direct Purchase Center. It is opened to procure the paddy from the farmer. This facility destroys the brokers and farmers get the fair price for their paddies. Government plan to extend the infrastructure to DPC across Tamil Nadu. Thank you, everyone. Over to Toastmasters today.
We were only receiving the voice. There was no pictures at all in this.
It's a podcast, right?
Yes, sir.
It was intentional, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram, for that wonderful speech. Now let us continue discussion about distraction. To understand distraction further, we need to dig further. Okay, let us start with the definition of the word distraction. What does the term mean? Okay, can anyone tell me what is the opposite of distraction? By the way, we can better understand the actual meaning of distraction.
Focus.
Yeah, even I thought so.
Concentration.
Concentration. Yeah, good.
Attraction.
Attraction. Yeah. Thank you for all the inputs. But the real opposite word of distraction is traction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, but both the words distraction and traction hail from the Latin origin trahere, which means something which pulls us towards. So traction is any action that pulls you towards what you want to. And the opposite of the traction is distraction, which is anything you do that pulls you away from what you want to do. So if you find yourself constantly distracted from certain things, that means you don't have anything to attract to. That means, in other words, you don't have a real goal setting. You don't have something which compels your soul to move towards. Let's take this further in the upcoming sessions. And now it's time for me to hand over the stage to another important session. That is none other than the table topics. And for that,
sorry for interruption. Do we
oh,
need
sorry.
To,
yeah,
have the polling?
I missed that. Sorry for that. Okay. So before that, timer, can we get the name of the qualified speakers?
Both the speakers are qualified.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. So now we need to go for the voting, right? Yeah. So I may ask the Zoom master to start the voting procedure.
The poll is launched now.
Yeah.
Everyone, please vote. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm closing the poll.
Okay. Thank you, Sergeant Dobbs, for reminding me. Om Kumar. Thank you for that. Okay, now let's move to the most exciting session, the table topics. To hand over the proceeding, I'm inviting Mr. Toastmaster Dinagaran. Mr. Dinagaran, he works for TCS for the last 21 years, and he likes traveling, watching movies, and trying out different dishes of foods. And when asked about the theme distraction, he said, distraction does not impact him on any immediate goals and to-dos, but rather not having a long-term goal, vision, and schedule to follow could be the reason that we are distracted and wasting time. That's what I just explained just before. That's just a coincidence. We both have the same idea. Okay, fine. Thank you. With that, I'm handing over the stage to Toastmaster Dinagaran. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, dear Modi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Yeah, we had a wonderful session of these prepared speeches where we had variety of topics. We talked about the change management, and also we talked about how we can build and deliver a podcast. And then Mohan Sundaram like wonderfully covered about the latest sensation about the harvesting and then farming. So now we are getting into another lighter session and another exciting session. It's table topics. We all know that what table topics is. It's like all the Toastmasters and guests will be given with a topic where people can think and then talk for a minute or two. You will have a like green signal if you if you cross 1 minute, and then orange in 1.5 minutes, and then 2 minutes you will see the red signal. So before we get into the session, like I wish you a wonderful year of 2022, and then yeah, like not dwelling on the past. Let's think about the future and then move forward. So that's my view, and yeah, let's get into the session. We'll start with Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. Toastmaster Aishwarya, are you there? Okay, not hearing from Aishwarya, Toastmaster. Aishwarya. So we move on to Toastmaster Karthikeyan. Are you around?
Yes, Toastmaster Dinagaran.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen, Toastmaster Karthikeyan?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is your topic. What is one new resolution for this year and why?
Okay.
Toastmaster Karthikeyan, what is one new resolution for this year and why? Yeah.
Yep. It is a very nice topic for me. Actually, last year, 2020-21, I'm not reaching the fulfill my resolution personally and officially because of due to some personal not commitment, because of the COVID situation. I could not focus on the health and wealth, everything. And so I have to stuck with all the items. So I have to 50 to 70% follow the old resolution. First one is weight reduction and speaking communications, and focusing on the certification, CISA certification. Three things I have to focus for the same thing 2021. I'm reached only for 30 to 20% only reached. I'm not reached the fulfill my target. And a new resolution, reading the more books, reading the newspapers. It is my new resolution of the next 2022. I have planned to do the monthly biggest main resolution, monthly 2 speeches planned to give the Medley Toastmaster. This is my main target for the New Year's solution. And because of the all the things I have to focus on the last 2 or 3 years, I focus on the everything is fulfilled to now 70 to 60%. So I'm no need to focus on the extra things. This is a more fulfill my life. Over to you, Toastmaster Tinagaran.
Yeah, that's a good summary of what we want to do, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. Yeah. So whatever I know, like you are not overweight anyway. You still want to keep yourself healthy, and also like you are well on your path of transforming yourself into a very good Toastmaster. You have been very regular and then very attentive. So I think you are on the right path and the right journey with respect to the new resolutions that you have, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. We'll move on to the next speaker. Do we have Toastmaster Sundaresan?
Yes, table topic master, I'm here.
Yeah. When was the last time you tried something new, and what is it, Toastmaster Sundaresan? When was the last time you tried something new, and what is it?
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and table topic master. I haven't counted, this may be the millionth time I'm getting this topic in this 20 years of Toastmasters journey. And I do have one standard reply for this, that started doing exercise. So I being a computer person, most of the hours I was sitting in front of monitor, evading walking, especially convincing that I'm a hard worker, I can complete all the tasks on time. But when it comes to walking by evening, I will convince myself that I'm a hard worker, I have done everything for the day, let me shift that walking for tomorrow. So the way in which it went, so exercise and walking became a very big lethargic for me, and I procrastinated all these years. But after coming back to India, Chennai, my priority became walking, not exercise actually. So it's a part of exercise, I can say. So walking is the thing I'm enjoying nowadays. For the past 1.5 years, I'm doing it continuously, which I missed to do for several years. My health, by God's grace, is somewhat okay because of walking. I do sweat on those sunshine days, or at least on those rainy days, I'm doing walking within my flat. And I can say that this, every time when this topic comes to me, I can say walking is the thing which I have done now, which I'm doing now, which I haven't done for years before. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sundaresan. I think it's not the it's that we start about this health and then the exercise and the walking, right? So it doesn't matter whether when we start. It's good that we start at some time and then we follow it, and then without procrastinating. Yeah, it's good that you are keeping up to that promise, Toastmaster Sundaresan. So we'll move on to the next speaker, Toastmaster Venkatesan. You're okay?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen now. So Venkatesan, yeah, the best book that you have read so far. The best book that you have read so far, Toastmaster Venkatesan.
Thank you for the nice topic. Wish you a happy New Year to Medley Toastmasters and distinguished guest also. The best book I have read yesterday, day before yesterday was, that is the famous lyric writer Kannadasan wrote Arthamulla Indumadam. I have completed that 9 parts, everything. I noticed that when I am happy, I was reading that, the mindset and other thing, it's okay, it's grasping all the point. Whenever I am sad, yesterday night also I read the 10th part of the book. On the time also, I can read the 10 parts. The book volume is some 500, 600 pages. Within 2 hours, I can finish that. I found that in that book, he wrote about that, how he was worst in, he was a drunkard and he was doing all the mischief and other things. And he was saying that he joined the party, the DK party, and then he expelled from that party and all those things. Even one part comes to Banavasam. He said that in that one paragraph, still it keep on saying in my mind, it keep on repeating in my mind. He said that I'm the only person led a life now not to live like all these things. That is why he's requesting, he made a statement at the end of the book, the 10th part. The readers, those who are going to read this Arthamulla Indumadam, should not follow all these bad things. God is there, that is why he completed the sentence. As you sow, so you reap. In English, I'm saying that. In Tamil, he put that whatever you are doing, it will come back. That's why just do the good things for others, you'll get a good things. Thank you for a nice topic. Over to the table topic master, Nagaran.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesan. Just a question for all the Toastmasters. Like, do we know that whether this Arthamulla Indumadam is translated to any other language? Or is it only available in Tamil? Does anybody know?
I think only Tamil.
Oh, it's in Tamil. Okay. I think it's eligible to be published in multiple languages, is what I feel. Yeah. We'll move on to the next speaker. Yes, Prasanna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are okay. I'll just share the topic. What life lesson did you learn on the hard way? Guess Prasanna, what life lesson did you learn the hard way?
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity to speak in front of such an august audience. The life lesson I learned the hard way was nothing comes free. You need to toil for anything. If something comes free, it's either not worth it or it's deceptive. The higher the worthier the price is, the harder we have to try to get it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good insight, guest Prasanna. Thank you. Thanks for your inputs. Yeah. We'll move on to the next speaker, Toastmaster Om Kumar. What are you most grateful for? Well, we actually get into this new year of 2022 and trying to reflect, Toastmaster Om Kumar. What are you most grateful for that you feel?
Thank you, Table Topics Master. I really feel grateful for whatever I have received so far. The education, the opportunities, whatever I have received with my parents, my friends, my relatives, and my mentors, and the learning, whatever I have got till now. So everything are really wonderful. And I don't think that I have not got something which others have received, because there are many people who have not received even 25% of what I have received. So I'm really, really grateful for what all the opportunities and things that I have got. So I'm really grateful and thankful for all the people who have helped me to achieve at least to this stage. And that really motivates me to keep going and going and going. And whenever I fall down, when I look back, it helps me and motivates me to get up and still keeps going. So I really feel grateful for everything what I have received, and I will be grateful for what I am receiving. So thank you, and over to you, Table Topic Master.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Kumar. I think, yeah. So we are all grateful for everything around us, right? So this the entire world, right? Like without, like even like something is missing out, like we'll be missing out something. That's a very grateful insight, Toastmaster Kumar. Yes, Nadira Fayesh.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, this is a little, yeah, the other side, the one thing that you regret in your life, the one thing that you regret in your life. Yes, Nadira Fayesh. Yeah.
Hi, so am I visible?
Yeah, we are able to see you there.
Okay. So if there is exactly one thing in my whole life that I would regret as such, it would be a very simple thing. I don't know if many people would agree with me, but I wish I had come into Toastmasters much earlier than I did now recently. So had I actually joined when I was at an eligible age, like 18 years of age, I feel like I could have achieved more with my life. So that is something that I completely like regret in my life. So 2 years that I have wasted, which could have been more progress. And yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Back to the Table Topic Master.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I also like just to add to that, like there are like people like me, like where we still be part of the Toastmasters, but not leveraging to the full potential. So it's an eye opener for people like us, like where how we can leverage the platform well, and then like make sure that we grow, and then also the grow along with the fellow Toastmasters. Yeah, we'll move on to the next speaker. Toastmaster Aishwarya, you are around. Okay. Toastmaster Dr. T.K. Sundaram.
Yes, please. What life lesson?
I'll just change it. Change the topic, sir. So, what is your most beloved childhood memory? Your most beloved childhood memory, Toastmaster Dr. T.K. Sundaram.
Okay. I was born in a small village near Pumbuhar. It's called Melaperumballam. At the time when I was born, there was no light in our house. We used to only study in the chimney. That is the kerosene lamp. And the whole village, there was no light. And actually, if at all I had to go to school, I had to walk for about 4 kilometers nearly. And of course, later on, when I started going to college, it was more than 10 kilometers. I had to walk up and down to catch a bus and then go to college. That's all small things. But the most important thing is actually the way our village life was from the turning around. There was a big talab in which I used to swim. Actually, my father used to bring a stick. Hey, you are there in the water for more than 3 hours now. Why can't you come out? Okay, that is one memory which is very green, and I liked actually the swimming in the lake, the small lake, of course, small pond rather. It's not a pond; it's in between. You can see tank, they call it. And then, of course, walking. Actually, Sundaresan liked the walking. So in life, actually, I have walked a long distances during school, colleges, and other times. And that has actually helped me to put my health in proper shape, probably at a later stage. That's what these two things are my memories, which I could not forget. Of course, the way which we lived, yes, simple food. Actually, pare sadam, and vengayam. That was actually one of the good food which we relished very much. That actually we are now, even now, I tell my wife, once a day you make a pare sadam. But of course, once a day, once in a week, probably you should try, but it's not coming the same way. And then those things of village life are very wonderful. They are very really good memories. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. You took us back to Pumbuar, for the lake and the Palayasadam. Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We will have the last speaker for the today's table topic session. We'll finish with DTM Partha. Yeah, I think this is something seems to be relevant to DTM Partha. So what are your top 3 personal values and why? What are your top 3 personal values and why, DTM Partha? We are unable to hear you. Are you on mute? Not sure. Maybe he might have stepped out, stepped away. Okay, we'll have, let us hear from Dr. DTM Sampath. DTM Sampath, your 3 top personal values and why.
It's very difficult to zero in on 3. Not because I have too many values, because I have too few. If you ask the question 1 value, it would have been even better. Okay. Good afternoon, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and friends. I will tell you that 1 value is integrity. I didn't learn it in a school. Of course, we hear a lot of things about integrity in school, in colleges, and in Toastmasters. But where I learned it in a very unforgettable way is from my father. My father left 2 jobs, very good jobs, on account of integrity. He was a chief accountant in a big company, and the chief of that company, who was his only boss, wanted to do some fraud. My father refused to cooperate. There was a big fight going on for a few months. Finally, my father said, enough is enough, he quit. Then he took another job. Later on, after another 15 years, a similar situation arose in a new company, where they wanted to get government grants by giving fraudulent data, false data. And that was in the area of my father's work. So he again refused. He quit the job. Of course, he found another job. So he had a good time because his name was very good. Even the second company said, okay, you don't do it, but you please continue. He refused and it came. This is the university where I learned that 1 value, integrity, from which all other values can be derived. Back to the table topic.
Thank you, sir. That was a very good insight about integrity of how we have to follow ourselves in doing what we want to do. Thank you so much. Hope we all enjoyed the table topic session. Back to TMOD. Thank you.
Thank you, Table Topics Master, for that wonderful session. So now, shall we start the voting for the table topic session?
We need the qualified.
Yeah, sorry. The timer. Please share the qualified speakers list for the table topics.
Except the guest who has taken just only 22 seconds, remaining all qualified. Except the guest Prasanna.
Thank you. Thank you. Sergeant Thompson, you can shoot out the poll.
I just launched the poll. Everyone, please vote. Everyone, please vote. So 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm closing the poll.
Team Moody, can you take over, please?
Yeah, I was not sharing that. Okay. Thank you for the vote, for hosting the vote, Sergeant at Arms. Okay, so now let's move on. An addiction to distraction is the death of your creative production. So this was a quote by the famous life coach, Robin Sharma. As I told earlier, we always need to have a clear set of outcomes to move towards, otherwise we would be always distracted forever. But is the intention sufficient to beat the unending surf of distraction? That's definitely not enough. We all know the smallest of implementations is always worth than the grandest of intentions. So it's not enough to have some goals, but we need to actually focus on the implementation part. And that's why Tony Robbins says, if you talk about it's a dream, if you envision it, it's possible. But if you schedule it, that's real. So we need to have a definite action plan towards achievement of goals, which will make us immune from distraction. With that said, let us move to the next session, the all-important session of evaluation. I'm handing over the stage to the general evaluator to take the proceedings further. Over to you, Mr. TM Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. What a session we had, and what normally, I mean, we had very good speeches as well, right? And we listened to 2 rollicking speeches, and I would say those are all informational as well as inspirational as well. To evaluate their thoughts, actions, we have evaluators to provide instant feedback. As you know, the purpose of the overall evaluation is to give positive comments and suggestions for improvement so that they can come to the stage next time. For evaluating Toastmaster Shankar's speech, we have DTM Partha as the evaluator. He's a Toastmaster since 2006, and he started his journey as Sergeant at Arms, Secretary, VP Education, President, Area Governor, Division Governor, and Club Growth Director. Wow. He's also the charter member for DXC Chennai Toastmasters Club. And according to him, if you are engaged with some activity, you can't be easily distracted before reaching your goals. Please put your hands to welcome DTM Partha.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Saravanan. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, a wonderful new year. It's glad to be part of a new year meeting on day 1. Toastmaster Shankar, thank you so much for your project, which you mentioned about how you had started off the story at the Everest Peak being scaled in the year 1953 by Edmund Hillary, and how people just continued after that particular incident because they were incited by that one start. I also love the way you used your project, how that you installed the solar panels for the village through the NGO which you were working with, associated with. And you had a steadfast attitude, irrespective of whatever may come. You ensured you wanted to get there. You wanted to accomplish your goal. Great effort, and we truly applaud you for your efforts. You had explained the aspect in project management, or rather in change management, about how to prepare for possible resistance to change. Yes, electricity would actually kill people. And sometimes it takes somebody that it comes from an unknown source that yes, electricity actually can kill people. There's nothing wrong with what they think. But still we use electricity. Maybe it's the quantum of electricity that matters. And the other part that they would have resistance is that they don't need, because they've been already living without electricity for this many years. How do you overcome these possible resistance is what you explained to us. You gave used demonstrations. You gave them the advantages of reducing insect bites, like the scorpion bite. Gave an example, and you connected with the stakeholders, and therefore you received a green signal. wonderfully narrated story with those instances of various aspects, that particular aspect of making sure you have lesser resistance to change. Now, what are the things that we can look at going forward in this particular project? I noticed that there were some gaps in your speech. For example, you mentioned an experiment with the village panchayat head, which did not work. What was the experiment? We are curious. I'm like curiosity cat. I want to know what was it. So at least some mention about it. Otherwise, don't even mention. That would be better. The next thing was connectivity. Now you had an opening story where Everest Peak was scaled in duty free, and then people continued. Now, how did it apply here? Did it help more villages to get the solar panel? Did it have more solar lights installation done, or was there more efficient use of electricity? Let us know how that connect also would have been there. Then it would be easy for us to connect with your opening story, and then why this also applies here. Yes, it did look some way connected, but you could have made a stronger connection there. Finally, when I get to the project itself, the project is asking you to tell how you handle those situations using a plan. Now, you did tell us how you handle the situation, yes, but it was more a reactional situation. Did you have a plan? Did you know that this was all coming ahead of time? So that's what the project is looking for. If you had something in mind, that is how you would have handled it. So what I suggest is you make sure that you explain this whole project itself as a plan, rather than saying that this was a situation and I reacted to it. This was another situation, I reacted to it. Rather than that, you can say, if this situation had come, we had a plan for this. If this situation had come, we had a plan for this. So accordingly, if you mention that, then it would look more like a plan for a change management. Now, to challenge yourself, I would really suggest that you mention the aspect which you want to share. For example, this was prepare for possible change into resistance to change. I didn't know about it until I went through the entire project, and then I understood. So for the audience, it's going to be the same. So let them also know that part. And overall, I think you were able to execute what very few people even think. So it was kudos to you for the wonderful job well done. And I hope to hear more speeches from you on how you executed this change all over. Thank you so much, and hand over the control back to our gentle evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Partha, for the detailed as well as wonderful evaluation. Now we go to the next speech. To evaluate Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram's speech, we have Toastmaster Abhilash as the evaluator. Toastmaster Abhilash, he is the IPP of, that is the immediate past president of Chennai Toastmasters Club, and also has served as VP as well as VP membership. He is also the audit committee chair for District 120 for this year and the Division C mentor pool coordinator. And according to him, one thing he gets distracted is his fitness. He gives up halfway through his fitness goals. But I hope in this year you will reach all your goals, not only fitness, but also all your goals. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Abhilash.
Thank you so much for those warm words of introduction, Mr. Gentle Evaluator. A warm start to a new year, I would say. A very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and a special good evening to my dear target speaker, Toastmaster Mohan. Toastmaster Mohan, when you started off your introduction with the word, all of us eat food, all of us eat rice. But do you know where that rice comes from? That got me thinking, indeed, yes, I do eat, but I've never known where it properly does come from. All I know is comes from farmers. So when you began your speech itself, it created that intrigue in my mind as to what you're going to speak. And rest assured, you did not disappoint. What a beautiful explanation on how the rice that we eat comes to us right from the plant, the seed to the plant to the packaging. Beautifully well done. So on that note, Toastmaster Mohan, let me congratulate you on a fantastic introduction. You got the mind in me thinking more as to what is going to follow. The second thing which I would really want to appreciate you is about the information, the quality of the information and research that you have given. You explained to us in detail the 7 stages that are involved in harvesting a crop. That is not something anyone can explain easily. You took care to ensure that even the sub-processes inside are explained to detail. I loved the information research when you spoke about the seed quality, about how we mix up and prepare the soil so that the seeds are ready to be planted, and how you spoke about harvesting. It's not just harvesting, you have packaging, you have processing, and so many things involved. Congratulations on that information research. And finally, yes, I would commend you on your explanation as well. I was actually, when you were talking about, the crop establishment over there, you said there were two possible methods, which were seeding and transplanting. I was left wondering, what are these two? But you did not allow me to linger with that thought for long. You ensured that you went to that minute detail and explained what those two also were. So I was all clear. Congratulations. All said and done, Toastmaster Mohan, with such a level of information and research, there is no need for you to be nervous. You were a little bit nervous during the start of your speech. What I would say is probably it might come with time, but for the quality of material that you have, don't be nervous. Go out there. This speech is any day going to be a killer speech. All right. So no need for any nervousness there. And the second thing was, a podcast is somewhere where I don't even have a visual aid. It is designed that way. It's like a radio talk show. So all the more I felt you could improve a little upon your vocal variety. It would have been more enhancing. For example, when you said for land preparation, we have to dig up and mix the soil. You could have said for land preparation, we have to dig up, mix the soil before ensuring that the seeds are planted. A little bit of vocal variety. That is just an example. And finally, when your introduction, probably a little bit in your nervousness, your hand gestures were a little restrained. You could have said, when we live in the comfort of our offices and homes, but there is the farmer who is toiling for us to eat. So that hand gestures could have been a little bit more. That is all. Perfect and lovely introduction, perfect explanation, information well researched. There was no information overload. A little bit improvement on your vocals, and let go of the nervousness. Man, I love your steadfast commitment here to your speech objectives. I am sure you'll go a long way. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhilash, for your positive as well as encouraging and constructive feedback. With this, we have come to the end of the evaluation session, but I would like to thank the evaluators, both DTM Partha as well as Toastmaster Abhilash, for their absolute alacrity to come up with their rollicking evaluations. Very well done. Thank you for that. Now, from Toastmaster Venkat Pallai, can you please let us know the qualified evaluators for the polling?
Hi. Abhilash is qualified and Partha is disqualified.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat Pallai. I believe both the evaluators have given their best on, what are the things that are needed. And I saw red, but it was a rollicking evaluation. Thanks a lot both for that. Now we go on to the next section. That is the, I know, Toastmaster Om Kumar, there is only one thing, so you can carry on. Okay, fine. So we go to the next one, that is the tag role evaluations. Okay, so I would like to call the tag role players. Timer, can you please provide your report?
Sure. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Venkat.
Yes. Thank you. Actually, there are only two speakers today. Toastmaster Shankar actually has taken 7 minutes 43 seconds, but there are some delay in the sharing the slides. So by considering that, I declare him as a qualified. And about the Mohan Sundaram, I was not aware of this timings, 2 to 3 minutes introduction, 5 to 10 minutes podcast. So, but still total 13 minutes, the mentor told me, but it is finished under within the limits, 11 minutes, 7 seconds. And about the table topics, Toastmaster Karthikeyan took 1 minute 22 seconds, and Toastmaster Sundaresan took 1 minute 32 seconds. Toastmaster Venkatesan took 1 minute 30 seconds, and the guest Prasanna taken 22 seconds, and Toastmaster Om Kumar taken 1 minute 6 seconds, and Toastmaster Nadira Faiz taken 31 seconds, and Dr. T.K. Sundaram taken 2 minutes 21 seconds, and Sampath sir taken 1 minute 42 seconds. And about the evaluation, DTM Partha taken 4 minutes 11 seconds, and TM Abhilash taken 3 minutes 29 seconds. I think that's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat, for the detailed your report, timer report as such. But I like the way you have come up with this timing report for all the role players, starting from the Sergeant at Arms and everybody. Thank you and very well done. Now we move on to the next tag role player, our counter, Toastmaster Venkatesan. Can you please provide your report?
Thank you, G. I'm going to start with my report. Right from the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Om Kumar, there is no pauses, no fillers. And the presiding officer, Toastmaster Ranga Padmavijayam, President, there is no pauses and no filler words. Clean speech, both Sergeant at Arms and the presiding officer. Team body, there is 2 pauses, 3 filler words. And general evaluator, Toastmaster Saravanan, was using one theme of the day once and word of the day once. There is no pauses and no filler words. Coming back to the speakers, product speakers, Toastmaster Shankar, there is no pauses, no fillers. Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram, one long pause and 2 filler words. Coming back to the table topics, Toastmaster Dhanagran, only 1 pause and 1 repetition. And I'm coming back to the speakers, TT speakers, Toastmaster Karthikeyan, 1 pause, 1 repetition. Toastmaster Sundaresan, there is no pause, no filler words, clean speech. Myself, I never made a note because I was delivering my speech. Dr. Prasanna Gust, there is only 1 repetition. Kumar is 1 repetition. Nadira using 1 pause. Dr. D.K. Sundaram, 1 pause. DTM Sambat, clean speech. Coming back to the theme of the day and word of the day used by our grammarian, Toastmaster Dr. Sambat sir. As an counter, I was using word of the day only 1. That's all. I'm submitted my report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesan, for the detailed report. Now we go to the next role player, that is the grammarian. I would like to invite DTM Sampath Saurajan to provide his report.
Good afternoon, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today my job is made relatively easy by the steadfast notion of most members not to use the word of the day. Toastmaster Saravanan used it twice, DTM Partha used it once, Toastmaster Abhilash used it once, and Toastmaster Venkatesan used it once. This is what I noted regarding the use of the word. Regarding some expressions which impressed me, of course, T.M. Modi Shiva's English is very grand and very good. He had a lot of interesting ideas, but he concentrated a little more on Greek and Latin things in terms of definitions and such things. Of course, they can be given in the very beginning, but any theme has to be related to life and people in Toastmasters a little more. That's my opinion. But he had a quote in which addiction to distraction was a very interesting expression. And then the grandest of intentions is another interesting expression. And if you schedule it, that is real, he says. Okay, that's a good expression, but I feel after you schedule, you have to execute it also. Okay, coming next to speaker, Toastmaster Shankar. The Edmund Hillary example was very fitting. And the 100,000 and million was very intriguing because I don't think there are a million now anyway, but it was a nice way of building up that idea. It was very descriptive, a lot of descriptive ideas were there in this one, but no grand expression for me to mention. And next speaker, Mohan Sundaram, because it is a podcast, I didn't see much, but in his introduction, there were some good expressions. And then coming to the TT speakers, some of them, Toastmaster Sundaresan, then procrastinated he used, which is, it's not a great new word, but it's a little bit longer, so let us give it respect. Then my constant reply is fitness or walking, he said. There is a subtle humor in that. And then guest Prasanna came up with a very nice expression, which is not unknown, but it was fitting in the occasion. Nothing comes free. The Om Kumar was the next one. Fall down and look back. This is the real learning. When you fall down and look back, you will learn and next time you will succeed. Then Toastmaster Saravanan, he was frolicking with the rollicking, the word rollicking more than once, and instant feedback and alacrity were nice words or expressions. DTM Partha, he said, you can't be easily distracted if you are steadfast or something. Okay, then incited by Hillary's success. It was not in the same order, he didn't speak it, but it was idea. Inciting. Everybody is getting excited, but you need some people to incite excitement also. Toastmaster Abhilash used the word information research very aptly, suitably to the occasion. Now coming to some improvables, I will not go in individual case, though I noted some. I will say only 2 points. One is, there are some dangerous words in English like every and many other so-called plural like looking, using singular verb using plural. So we have to be a little bit aware of that. You cannot say everyone or, everyone want. You have to say everyone wants or everyone is like this. There are 1 or 2 cases like this. We have to be very watchful about this. Another thing is some verbs in their passive and active forms, they mean slightly different. Actually, the action goes in different directions. For example, I determine to do something. I determine something. I am determined. This is a different way of expression. Similarly, there are other many words like this. Astonished. You can astonish somebody or you can be astonished by somebody. Occasionally, I find some mix-up in this usage. Even today, there was one mix-up like this. So that's what I wanted to highlight. Back to the general evaluator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Sampath, for the detailed and very informative report. Now, I would like to call the Zoom master to provide the polling for the best tag role player.
Sure. I just launched the poll. Everyone, please vote.
Thank you, Toastmaster Om Kumar. Now, I would like to give my overall sessions feedback. Let me take my report. First of all, the thing that impressed me was in today's meeting was 75% of the attendees were on camera. 75%. Nearly 15 out of 20 people I had seen on camera once. This is the first time I'm seeing this much of percentage. Okay. And lots of preparation had gone behind the conduct of the meeting. I would say the WhatsApp group for role players, as well as the job done by XCOM was really appreciable because they have done with the agenda upfront, posters, and all the flyers and everything were given upfront. So that was a very well done job by the XCOM as well as the role players. Then I would like to appreciate guest Dr. Prasanna for being on the video for the entire meeting, because normally the guest will come and when during the Toastmasters speeches only they will put on their video, but you were on video throughout and that was excellent done. Thanks a lot, Dr. Prasanna, for that. And timer, I would like to call out the timer for the commendable job he has done, because he has tracked the entire proceedings from all the role players, from the Sergeant at Arms, President, TMOD, etc. I mean, you have done that. I know it is very difficult. I have done this timer job. It is very difficult, but you have done it excellently well. And kudos to you for that. Then I would like to appreciate the Zoom master come, Sergeant at Arms come, poll master, Toastmaster Om Kumar. I know that's a very difficult job, but you have done it excellently. And the split screen focus on during the Toastmaster sessions or the evaluation sessions was very well done. Thank you for that. And coming to the TMOD, yes, the theme is very relevant and it also coincides with the main purpose of Toastmasters, that is not to be distracted by anything, but we have to reach the goals. So it was coinciding with Toastmasters as well as with the New Year theme also. So very well picked up theme and it was very well done. And it was also very well complemented by the TT Master during his TT's
topics. It was very well done. And I would like to appreciate TMOD, Siva, as well as DTM Partha for helping Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram to overcome the audio issues when he was stuck up with the audio issues. Very well done. Thank you. And all the recordings or everything is there in place. So in case if you want to go back to evaluations or speeches and everything, you can go to Medley Toastmasters Club. That YouTube channel is having all those recordings. So please go through that. That is also very well done. And there are some few points for improvement as well. So a couple of things I would like to tell is, the first thing is on the display of club banner, DCP charts, communication charts, leadership charts, and pathways charts. So this is very much needed because we have to showcase what we have done to our guests and members. So if it can be displayed in the beginning, it will be really good. That is one thing. Second thing is, I noticed a lot of background distractions. At the same time, people are talking in between. Although it is informative, but you can use the chat channel for that, so that it will not distract the flow of TMOD or any other role players as such. So please ensure that, because what I just this during morning I learned something in one of the Patimantrams. Keep good things in the heart. If something does not help others, you can mute yourself. This applies to Toastmaster also. If this is the case, then your life will be cute. This I learned from one of the Toastmasters, one of the Patimantra sessions. I wanted to tell about that. But overall, really, I like the entire proceedings of the meetings, and there is a lot of learnings. And I would like to really appreciate DTM Partha as well as Toastmaster Abhilash for giving a different perspective altogether on the evaluation. At some point of time, I was thinking like I'm in an evaluation contest as such. Thank you for your nice evaluations as such. And with this concludes my evaluation of today's meeting. And I request Toastmaster of the day to take over the proceedings. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, General Evaluator and the entire evaluation team. I know what it takes to deliver the evaluation and distracted and focus on that entire proceedings of the meeting. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's coming to the end of the session, and probably we have another installation session. So what we have seen about distraction so far, and we have seen how it has affected the entire humanity from the history. But what is the antidote to the distraction? So one, we should have a constant real outcome, that is the goal setting, and a perfect plan and implementation. But how do we take that further and make it a part of our life? So to answer that, so in the book called The 5 AM Club, Robin Sharma goes this way. In a society where people are constantly addicted to digital devices and become cyber zombies, addicted to distraction and afflicted with interruption, the wisest way to guarantee that you consistently produce master level results in the most important areas of your life is to have a steadfast world-class morning routine. Yes, a morning routine where you set aside some time for yourself, to be yourself, to analyze your thoughts, your emotions, and also spend some time for optimize your health and being yourself. That will be make you immune to distraction. With that said, we had a great meeting today. I thank you everyone for being part of the meeting. I thank Mr. Sambat Saurirajan for providing me the opportunity to be the TMOD for the day in the New Year's meeting. And I thank all the role players and general evaluators, tag players. And with that, I'm handing over the stage to the president. Thank you.
We also need to have the polling for the role players.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, you can kick off the poll for the role players.
I'm just launching the poll right now. Everyone, please vote. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm closing the poll right now.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day and the Sergeant at Arms. And a warm welcome to Toastmaster Nadira. To introduce Toastmaster Nadira, she is a dentist by profession, a dancer by passion. She's been in Toastmasters for the last 4 years, and she has served many leadership roles like Associate Treasurer, Vice President of Education, and President at her home club, Chennai Toastmasters Club. She has served as an Area Director of Area C1 for the tenure 2020 to 2021, and is currently serving as the Division Director of Division C. Toastmaster Nadira, I invite you to be our installation officer for today. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ranga. So please excuse the background noise that might be there. Would the Zoom master please spotlight the outgoing officers?
I think that's all, Nadira. Others are not here.
Perfect. So at this time, you are discharged from all your duties and responsibilities. Thank you all for the excellent service that you've done for this club. So can we have a quick, can everyone just unmute and quickly just give them a round of applause for the work that we have done past 6 months? Thank you so much. I am here to install the new officers of Medley Toastmasters Club, briefly state their key responsibilities, and to remind them of the challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club one of the best in Toastmasters internationally. This will involve helping the members achieve their goals as well as leading the club to President Distinguished Club status this coming year. I will now describe the challenge and the key responsibilities of each officer, beginning with the Sergeant at Arms. Zoom Master, you can spotlight the Sergeant at Arms now. Thank you. Toastmaster Om Kumar. As the Sergeant at Arms, you arrange for the meeting link, maintain club equipment in working order, ensure the club supplies are available, set up the room before the meeting begins, make sure all relevant educational and PR materials are displayed, attend to all any special needs if at all, make sure the guests are greeted, help the president make sure that the meeting starts on time. Toastmaster Om Kumar, will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities?
Sure, ma'am. I will.
Thank you. Next, we move on to the treasurer. Zoom Master, could you spotlight the treasurer, Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram? Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram, as the treasurer, you keep financial records and prepare the club budget. Announce when it's time for the members to pay their dues. Explain the due structure to the members. Collect the dues. Work with the secretary to ensure that the club submits their dues promptly to Toastmasters International World Headquarters. Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram, will you perform these duties?
Sure. Yes, I will.
Thank you. Next, we have our secretary, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, as the secretary, you maintain an accurate membership roster and attendance list. Submit the new club officer list to Toastmasters International by June 30th. Work with the treasurer to ensure that the new member applications and dues get to Toastmasters International headquarters as soon as possible. Work with the treasurer to submit the club renewal dues on time. Provide the club with the minutes of meeting every meeting. So, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, will you perform these duties to your best of your ability?
She is not logged in.
Can we have a proxy answer on behalf of her? Toastmaster Ranga, could you please?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Thank you. Can we have our VPPR, Toastmaster Dinakaran, on spotlight as well? Is he available? Yes, perfect. Toastmaster Dinakaran, as the Vice President of Public Relations, you attract visitors to the club through free publicity. Use a variety of means to promote the club in the community. Enlist your fellow club members in PR activities, providing them with promotional materials and ideas for inviting guests. Regularly recognize member achievements with methods such as announcements, newsletters, emails, and articles that you submit for the newsletter. Toastmaster Dinakaran, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Thank you. Next, we have Toastmaster Shankar as the Vice President membership.
Hi.
Zoom Master, please do the needful. Toastmaster Shankar, as the Vice President of membership, you lead the club's membership building efforts to achieve the membership goal of 8 new members. While the VPPR motivates members to visit the club, you motivate your current members to invite guests. Promptly give new member applications and dues to the secretary and the treasurer. Personally greet guests and provide them with guest packages, including a membership application. Make sure each guest hears about the benefits of Toastmaster and gets a personal invitation to become a member. Represent your club at the area council meetings. Toastmaster Shankar, will you perform these duties to the best of your abilities?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Vice President Education, Toastmaster Saravanan. As the Vice President of Education, you gain commitment from members to set educational goals for themselves. You assure that the club members are aware of the schedule of the meeting roles, planning the meetings, assisting the members in meeting their goals as well. Work with the members to make sure that each meeting is fun and well run. Work with your members to ensure that they submit their applications for educational awards promptly on time. Provide an educational topic at club meetings, such as those from the Successful Club series and Better Speakers series. Represent your club at the area council meetings. And as the second highest ranking officer, preside over the meetings when the president is absent. Toastmaster Saravanan, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. We move to the resident. Distinguished Toastmaster Sampath Sarirajan, as the president of Medley Toastmasters Club, you are the chief executive officer. Thus, you preside at all club meetings and all meetings of the club executive committee as well. It is your challenge to see that the club adds new members and meets the needs of its current members to achieve their communication and leadership goals. Establish a club climate that is supportive, stimulating, and rewarding to its members. To realize that there are resources available to you as well. Your club officer team, fellow club members, the officer's handbook and the area director, the division director, and the D120 website, and all other district officers. Distinguished Toastmaster Sampath Sarirajan, you virtually hold a symbolic representation of the gavel as a symbol of power and authority that your club has given you during your term of office. I'm confident you will use it wisely and with restraint. Distinguished Toastmaster Sampath, as a member of Medley Toastmaster Club, as well as its leader. Will you work with your executive team and club members to make sure Medley Toastmasters Club becomes a distinguished club this year?
Yes, I shall.
Medley Toastmasters Club members, please respond when asked. Your officer team has just pledged to serve the club to their best of their abilities, to be the best Toastmaster club possible, and to meet the needs of all the members. Your club will need active participation from every member. Do you, as members, pledge to work together with your officer team to make Medley Toastmasters Club the finest Toastmaster club it can possibly be?
Yes,
Yes,
we will.
we will.
Yes,
Yes, we will.
yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. By the authority vested in me as your division director, it is my sincere pleasure to declare these Toastmaster officers installed in their respective club officer positions. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to the Medley Toastmaster Club Officers Executive Team for this Toastmaster year. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
Congratulations.
Let us hear a few words from the incoming president now. Distinguished Toastmaster Sampath, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Installation Officer. Dear members of Medley, you have a president now. You have a president now. That doesn't mean he is the CEO, as the Installation Officer told. I strongly believe this word CEO is an ornamental thing, just to enthuse people, because Toastmasters works on a servant leader model. I am the first among all the members of Medley, and I am the first among all the executive committee members. I am the chief servant officer of this club. So this is direct opposite of CEO, because that model is different. CEO in corporate, that is a different model. See, what is my role? I have to set an overall agenda or vision. What are the general things to be done in consultation with the ExCom members? Then my jolly work is to delegate and then motivate, then facilitate, and when there is need, support. These are the models on which a good ExCom can function. So I shall strive to do that. My team is your team, Medleyans. It's not my team. My team is your team. This club ExCom is a set of people working this term. Next term, there may be another set of people. Some of you may be also in the team. Whoever is in the team, every individual member is supposed to cooperate maximum with the plans of the ExCom, trying to do the best for the club. If you have a different idea, next time if you become an ExCom, you can do it. We can discuss, there can be dialogue. One of the important points for the president is to listen. I shall do that also in full measure. I have a 3A formula to recommend to the members. Attendance. I am not happy with the attendance of many clubs, not only our club, most clubs are like this. Attendance in the range of 40 to 50% is a common thing. Some clubs can be even worse. But I am ambitious to think of 75 to 80% attendance, which means nothing, like 3 meetings out of 4 in a month, you have to attend at least. This is the only thing. The second A is attention. When you come to the meeting, you should be very attentive. Every minute of the meeting, you should draw the juice from that minute for your own benefit. Any speaker, listen to him attentively, try to learn something. Any evaluator, try to learn something. Any table topic speaker, try to learn something. All the role players, try to learn something. Think of Shiva as the TMOD. He has a lot of things which we can learn. Think of Abhilash as an evaluator. He has a lot of things we can learn. So never miss 1 minute of the meeting. Don't stray in your attention. Attentivity is the second. These two are inside the meeting. The third A is order. A-R-D-O-U-R. Order means the sincerity, seriousness, passion. If you have that in good measure, you will work outside. If your grammarian says there is something problem, you will go and try to improve that. If somebody says you didn't do the project properly because you missed this point, you will go outside and work. So Toastmasters meeting 2 hours per week is during the meeting. At least 2 hours, 3 hours outside the meeting you have to do. For that, you need the passion. If you put together all these 3 A's, it will take you places. Your progress will be very much satisfactory to yourself. Our ExCom officers will reach out to you. They will have their plans. Our VP will come out with his plans about the trainings, about the contest that is coming up. And if there is a need to conduct speakathons, everything he will come out with. Only one point I will tell you, on 15th and 22nd of this month, we have 2 interesting training programs. Okay, one of them is by DTM Thomas Amram on table topics on 15th. And on 22nd, I have asked and DTM Nisha Sivaram from Qatar, she has agreed because she has that date free, she has agreed. She will talk about IAC contest preparation. She was a semi-finalist last year. She has been district champion 3 or 4 times. So her level of this knowledge is from club level. She is still active in the clubs. Okay, Talking Matters is her main club. She is still very active and she will be a good trainer, I thought, and she has also lucky jack. So now let me conclude by saying, it is your club. We are your team. You please cooperate with us. We will do our best. The results will speak for themselves in future. Now, let me, before concluding, let me announce the winners. The winning role player is Toastmaster of the day, Shiva. The winning evaluator is Toastmaster Abhilash. The winning speaker is Toastmaster Shankar. The table topic winner and the tag role winner is, for some vague reason, unexplained reason, yours truly, DTM Sampath. With this, let me adjourn meeting number 661.